Hi, welcome to the video. This time we're going deep into the engine room. The engine room. Come with me. We're going to have to move a lot of this out to clear some space. This is the gas locker, and the door to it is on the top. This is the enormous diesel tank. There is the opening to do cleanouts, but I need a new pickup. Today's video is sponsored by nobody. Eberspacher were kind enough to send me this box after I went to a shop and gave them a load of money. This is my heating system. All the bits. This is not today's job. Today's job is to put this in the standpipe, and the reason I'm doing this is because my diesel tank is empty. Finally empty. I filled it up in Newport, Belgium, August 2020. It is now empty. These are the instructions. It says here that I need a 15.25 drill bit and then a 3/8 BSP tap. Wait a minute, a 1932 drill and a 3/8 tap? That didn't make sense. This is the fitting. I still don't understand the relationship between a 3/8 fitting and a 1932 hole. But that's not 3/8, but I assume that that bit is, and it's something to do with this pipe. However, I went out on the internet and I did as I was told, and I bought the parts. There's the drill bit, and here's the tap. Drill the hole, tap the thing, put the thing in, job's done. So now we're going to open up the tank, and it should be empty, or at least nearly empty. The engine didn't cut out, but I could feel that it was hunting for diesel. Ta-da. That there is the pickup. We are officially out of diesel. On a narrowboat, generally the tank is at the very back. When they do the pickup for diesel, they send a pipe from the top down, or usually go in the side and then down, and then suck up the diesel that way. So you're always left with a bit on the bottom of the tank, and that can fill up with water, sludge, you name it, whatever. And that doesn't go through the engine, theoretically. An Eberspacher, you must put a standpipe in that is above all that sludge, as an Eberspacher will not take it. It's a lot more sensitive to water and will just simply shut down. When they install the tank, they put the pickup at the very bottom of the tank. So this means that any water or anything that consolidates at the bottom of the tank is sucked in to the engine and shoved out the exhaust. So it's constantly cleaning the diesel in that respect. Now, obviously, it goes through a fuel filter, it goes to a water separator before it goes into the engine. But it is removing the water that's building up at the bottom of the tank. So going forward, this tank should be generally kept quite clean, because the engine here is taking all the sludge out every time it's running. Maybe that's why it's so smoky. Hardly. I have an oil can, a magnet, a vice grips attached to my tap. Now the magnet, I want to go underneath into the tank, and I'm popping it there, And the purpose of the magnet is to catch any swarf or any bits of metal that come out. Oh, look, it's magnetized the drill bit. Really important that that doesn't fall in. So it needs to be 75 millimeters off the bottom of the tank. It also says 25 millimeters above the intake of the engine. And the reason for that is to ensure that there's always 25 millimeters. So if you run out of diesel because you've been running your heater, your engine still has diesel to go off and get diesel to refuel. To protect the Eberspacher from water at the bottom of the tank, they recommend a minimum of 75 millimeters from the bottom of the tank. So that's what I have to measure up now. 10, so I need it at 17.5, which is up there. That's the compression nut. There's the olive. Pop that in. Pop the whole lot down. Start tightening it up. Let's be exactly right. Now you can see 75 mil off the bottom. Let's calculate the volume of the tank. 2 meters long, 200 centimeters, by 40 centimeters deep, by 50 centimeters wide, is equal to 400,000. Divide by 1,000. So it's a 400 litre tank. Oh, I thought it'd be more than that. We are up by 75. So 75 litres. Oh, this is handy because it's 40 centimeters high and it's a 400 litre tank. You can work out how many litres are in it by just measuring the depth of it. No, that's Chris Cable. He worked that out. That was deliberate. So when you measure with a measuring stick, because the height of the tank is 40 centimeters, you basically get a litre a centimetre. No. 40 is 400. Yeah. So you can measure how much volume is in there by just measuring how many centimeters of diesel there is in the tank. So when the Eberspacher is finished, it'll be 75 litres of diesel still in the tank. Oh, that's cute. So I've only used 400 litres since 2020. Wow. That's what happens when you travel at only 2 miles an hour everywhere you go. Now the last thing to do is to put on the tap. Oh no! Bloody olive. Where you go? Yeah, gotcha. Put on the compression fitting, put in the olive, and put on the tap. I'm going to put on the tap like that. And tighten. I have to put the tap on now because if I fill the diesel tank up with 400 litres of diesel, then I will overflow out of the top of this. Closed. Right, so that's done. Now we need to put fuel into the tank and warm up the engine for a service. This is fuel for the diesel generator, but as I'm not using it, I might as well chuck it into the engine. I'm sure this is purely psychosomatic, but it does feel like it's a little bit warmer in here since we put the insulation up. I'm going to start the engine and let's see if it starts first time. It might do because it's being warmed up by the stove. This is an engine that has no fuel in it. So I'm going to pump it. bring it up to temperature, shut it down, add this to the oil, then run it for 20 minutes on idle, and then drain your oil. The idea being that it might clean up the valves and maybe reduce the smoke a little bit. Now I have to wait 20 minutes. I put 40 litres of fuel in, so basically one shot of this is about right. Well, that's 20 minutes, so let's shut the engine off. Draining the oil from the engine is made a lot easier by having a pump and this little hose. That's it empty. This is the oil filter. Now I've got a big oily mess to clean up. And now the fuel filter. Oh, there you go. And now for some oil. You're a noisy drinker, Linda. It's a really frosty morning and I want to show you the difference the insulation has made on the roof. You can see there's the frost and it's bone dry. In fact, the roof is warm and it's freezing here. No insulation here at all, so anywhere, even if we go right down to the end, that's all melted. That's no frost at all. Right, it's another day. I've changed the oil filter, I've changed the fuel filter, I've changed the oil, and now I need to clean the air filter. One, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4 is the firing order. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when 1 is rocking, 6 is ready to lash. Hey everybody, it's Stilson. Hey gang, I've got my mouth full at the moment. Turning over the engine. Okay, watch the valve close, coming up. And then the next one wants to start going. So they're right in the middle. Number 1 is in the middle of rocking. 1, 6. So that's 0.5 is what you're supposed to have. So yeah, that's a bit. The nut is to secure it, and the screwdriver is twiddling it up and down, and that's what's adjusting that gap. You can see it going up and down as I turn. And now I can feel just a little bit of movement. To be fair, I think this one was fine. I've got to make sure the screwdriver stays where it is. Yep, that's nice and tight and it moves through it. So we've got exactly 0.5 mil. that's them all done. Back to 0.5. Pretty much most of them were fine. There was only really one or two that was a little bit loose. Plenty of water. I might check it for antifreeze though. -10. I would love to do a backwash and run a hose through this engine and clear out all the what looks like sludge in there, but I can't because I can't by rights dump the water into the canal, so I've nowhere else to put it. So I've sucked out everything, so it should be dry more or less, and now I'll just reload with fresh stuff, and hopefully that'll just that'll do. Thanks to Chris Cable, I have loads of antifreeze. You want to see it? There it is. Let's get it lined up so you can see. Now we're at -26. Right, let's start the engine. The oil started spewing out of there. It's now down in the bilge, mixed with all the rest of the This is turning into a bit of a nightmare, but I think it's all good now. There is oil everywhere down in the bilge, and I probably should by rights save that oil for the oil can.